Okay. All right. This shouldn't take that long. I'll just kind of quickly dive in. I have 3 research questions that I'll ask you, just your expert opinion on, and kind of your experience, and then we might get into different sub questions. I have some sub questions. Just kind it'll all flow much smoothly, and then there might be something additional that you might mention that I might actually kind of elaborate on, just to kind of get a little bit more understanding of your experience. And yeah, and if you don't have any questions,
how did you get my information if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. I just had an interview just at 2:30 that I just wrapped up with. She asked the same question. So I'm currently in the military, but my mentor is a medical doctor in the military, and he's a part of organization, American College of Healthcare Executives, which I joined, kind of seeking my fellow as well. And there's a directory on there, and I did a random sampling of leaders, executive leaders, or healthcare leaders in Georgia, and then I randomly selected at the bottom of the page like different leaders, and I sent the information out to different leaders in the healthcare field, and then whoever responded first, then I scheduled their interview.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a doctor. My name is Jay. I'm a doctoral student for the business department at Liberty University, and I'm pursuing my doctorate in strategic leadership, and I'm conducting a research examination on how leaders in an organization fail to identify and manage toxic subordinates, which results in a reduction of individual productivity and organizational performance. My actual research topic is challenges of managing toxic subordinates in an organization, and of course, it's a qualitative case study. No names or organizations will be presented in the research or anything. It's just generic, the leader, the organization, so on and so forth. So you can be reassured with that. So I can I'll start by asking you if you can kind of give me a brief description of your experience and your experience as a healthcare leader.
Sure. My current title is Executive Director of Business Operations and Centralized Staffing Operations in a 900 bed. I think we have maybe 700 operating bed healthcare facility. It's a teaching public organization. I've been in this organization for 15 years in several different roles in operations, quality, human resources, and finance.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll just kind of dive right into my first research question, which is, how do leaders identify toxic subordinates in a healthcare organization?
Well, at my level, most of the time when I am identifying an employee that is toxic or not displaying the organizational values, it trickles up to me from another leader, whether it's through progressive discipline that they've already tried to do, or another leader asking for mentoring, coaching, advice. Or just observing those behaviors since I'm in a healthcare facility, observing those behaviors during rounding or during meetings, or again, the information being relayed to me from another source.
Okay. Great. All right. My sub question to that is, what are the toxic behaviors exhibited by subordinates at a workplace?
So undermining behavior, lack of collaboration, poor tone, poor body language, failure to communicate effectively, working in silos. I could probably go on and on about that.
Okay. All right, that's awesome. All right. Next, how do toxic subordinates affect organization performance?
In a lot of ways. So for a healthcare organization, they can impact patient engagement and patient quality scores. They can impact recruitment and retention for new employees. Recruitment for new employees, retention for existing employees. Those are probably the top things.
Okay. All right. How we'll move to the second research question, which is kind of similar to the first one, but it's how do leaders realize toxic subordinates in a healthcare organization? So the first one was identifying, but how do they realize toxic subordinates in a healthcare organization?
So interactions, I guess, would be the first way that they realize it. So if you're an engaged leader, then you're having interactions with your staff, then you should be able to identify it that way.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes, ma'am, it did. Yep. The sub-question to that is, what toxic behaviors exhibited by the subordinates in the healthcare organization make it challenging for leaders to manage?
Undermining behavior that is not as black and white as not following a policy or a protocol, or tone and body language and communication that the leader doesn't necessarily witness, and it's hearsay or second information. Those behaviors are hard to discipline.
Okay. Or hearsay. Okay. Got you. And what challenges can a healthcare organization face if it does not handle toxic behavior or characters?
Losing the good employees, and again, in the healthcare environment, ultimately, everybody should be working towards the same goal, and that's patient engagement, patient quality, patient satisfaction. That's the reason why we do what we do for the patient.
Okay.
So ultimately, it can impact patient care.
Okay, patient care. Okay. All right.
And again, employee retention and employee recruitment become known as not a good place to work.
Okay. Not a good. Okay. Good to work. Okay. All right. And then my final research question would be. I think I already asked what challenges can face if it. Okay. My final research question: how does a leader in an organization manage toxic subordinates?
Progressive discipline, coaching, and mentoring.
Okay.
Providing resources to help that person if they want to change. So,
okay.
Coaching, mentoring, and progressive discipline.
Coaching and mentoring. Okay. All right. What is the role of organizational leaders in managing toxic subordinates?
I didn't hear the question. Can you ask it again?
Yes, ma'am. What is the role of the organizational leader in managing toxic subordinates?
I think that would probably be the same as my last question.
Okay.
To coach and mentor, and then you remove the toxicity.
Okay, all right. Okay, toxicity. All right, and then my final sub-question to my third research question is, what consequences can a healthcare organization face after failing to manage toxic subordinates?
I think that's, again, similar. Some of your questions, they're very similar.
Yes.
And as a healthcare organization with patients being at the center of why we do what we do, ultimately you can impact the bottom line, your budget, you can impact patient engagement, patient satisfaction, patient quality, financial strength of the organization. Okay. So it can have, but the most important thing that it can impact is patient care.
Patient care. Okay, got you. Is there a particular leadership style when managing toxic subordinates?
I don't know I think as a leader, all the different leadership styles that I've learned all have their own strengths and weaknesses in how they manage people and how they progressively discipline or manage toxicity. But that's all along the lines of leadership and managing people, good, bad, and different. So I wouldn't say any specific leadership style is better than the other, or there's a specific one that works better with managing toxic employees.
Okay. So you would kind of say, would you say like a situational leader, like since it's different, would you say that, like it depends on the situation of that subordinate? Because from my understanding, based on what you mentioned, that like the different the toxic people are different. Because you mentioned some might need coaching, some might need to just be provided resources. So does it depend on like the situation for that leader to then lead? So they will probably have that situational leadership, because my research framework is based on situational leadership theory. So I was like, it was interesting how other leaders you mentioned said, yeah, it kind of really depends on the situation or the toxic individual that they're actually leading or managing. So would you agree to that, or could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that that's very broad, and all leaders, regardless of whether it's managing toxic people, whether you're managing your budget, it depends on the situation. So if the company is in dire need of having a financial strain, I might manage my budget different based on that situation. So I guess that would be appropriate to say situational.
Okay. That makes sense. Alrighty. So that concludes my research questions. I just want to kind of open the floor to see if you had any additional expert opinion or expertise in managing or leading toxic subordinates in a healthcare organization that we didn't cover throughout my research questions.
Nope. I think the only thing I would probably add, as you doing this research project, but also aspiring to be a leader, I'm assuming in healthcare, is definitely collaboration and patience.
Okay. Well, thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate your time. Your feedback is extremely valuable. So thank you for your time. And I know there's a hiccup with the time difference, and I apologize. I just wanted to. I'm happy we were able to close the loop, and I can get your feedback on this. So thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, you too now. All right, bye.